Good evening. Because of all the breaking news today, we've prepared this short update on the coronavirus news that is literally breaking moment to moment. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie are now in self-isolation after she came down with flu-like symptoms when she came back from the UK. The same for NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. He's in self-isolation. The Juno Awards in Saskatoon that were scheduled for Sunday now canceled, and the winners will be posted online. Chilliwack's Bria Skonberg is nominated in the jazz category. CBC will not televise the announcement of the winners. The Fraser Valley Bandits begin their second season of the Canadian Elite Basketball League on Friday, May 8th, when the club takes on the defending champs, the Saskatchewan Rattlers at Abbotsford Centre. Andrew Savory with the team told chillTV that their season is still on. The players have been asked to take precautions. The CEBL plays with FIBA international rules, and they are also monitoring the situation as well. On Wednesday, the NHL Vancouver Canucks recalled their scouts. Then Thursday, the NHL sent out a memo in the morning to cancel the morning skate for all teams and told referees to stay home. And now their season is on hold. Major League Soccer, the National Lacrosse League, and the National Basketball Association seasons are already suspended. While the Chilliwack Chiefs are out of the playoffs, there's still no word from the BCHL whether or not the playoffs will be suspended. chillTV reached out to Abbotsford Centre to check on the status of upcoming shows, including the Mini Pop Kids Matinee March the 21st. That show, right now, is still on. The 2020 All About Fishing Show, sponsored by Fred's Custom Tackle, Fishing with Rod, and Tourism Chilliwack, will not take place. Anna Macedo with Heritage Park told FEN that organizers don't yet know if that show will be rescheduled down the road. And we're still waiting to hear word whether TEDx Chilliwack will proceed on Easter weekend. The Chilliwack Citizens for Change fundraiser, featuring Luke Wallace in concert, that was scheduled for Saturday. That's been canceled. This is a story that will continue to evolve. Thank you for watching chillTV News of the Week. Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. COVID-19 starting to impact life in Chilliwack with a number of stories that we are reporting on. The Chilliwack resident rearrested on sexual assault charges. Sardis Secondary teen sent to hospital for vaping-related illness, and our top sports story celebrating the GW Graham Grizzlies and Unity Christian. Thanks for watching. We're committed to providing local news and news that impacts our local audience from Harrison to Garrison, Greendale to Hope, and everywhere in between, including Agassiz, Rosedale, Squeala First Nation, Fairfield Island, Ryder Lake, Chiacton First Nation, Yarrow, and downtown Chilliwack. Our very special guest this week, Dr. Cindy Jardine of the University of Fraser Valley, and Barris Karden in the first of a series of COVID-19 stories that we are preparing. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Once again, the COVID-19 or coronavirus is our top story. 4 more cases have been identified in the Fraser Health region. What is of concern now is that the disease has shown up in a seniors care facility in Lynn Valley. Bonnie Henry, the BC Provincial Health Officer, is now advising self-isolation for 14 days for people who have been to China and Iran in the past couple of weeks. The Abbotsford School District have made the decision to cancel a number of district-sponsored field trips to those locations. Families who have students registered for those trips will be receiving separate communication to that effect. In Chilliwack, only one such trip has been canceled, and as of yet, a blanket ban has not been issued. Rohan Arul Pragazam, the interim school superintendent, issued a statement on how they're handling the situation, saying that all international school field trips to France have been canceled due to high concerns and risks regarding the outbreak of COVID-19 in the region. And that was confirmed by Chilliwack School Board Chair Dan Coulter to chillTV. Quote, "No other cancellations are in place so far. We are advising families who plan to travel overseas for spring break to observe the Government of Canada's travel health notices, where the following travel advisories have been issued, that effective March the 4th. So that includes China, Iran, Northern Italy, Japan, and South Korea. COVID-19 has prompted the Vancouver Canucks and the Chilliwack Chiefs to upgrade sanitizing stations within their buildings. Of course, the Chiefs are now out of the playoffs. Elsewhere, the IIHF Women's World Hockey Championships in Halifax they were canceled. South by Southwest in Austin was canceled. And all eyes are now on a senior care facility in Washington State, where a number of deaths have occurred due to the virus. University of Fraser Valley receiving funding from the federal government for research aimed at mitigating the spread of COVID-19 and other contagious diseases, particularly amongst international travelers. A team led by Dr. Cindy Jardine, UFV's Canada Research Chair in Health and Community, will conduct research on the health information needs and the gaps faced by families visiting friends and relatives in their countries of origin. Most of the cases in Fraser Health have ties to visiting Iran, and we'll have an interview with Dr. Jardine later in the show. COVID-19 has an effect on real estate. With changes to the mortgage stress test just around the corner, that's coming up in early April, Chilliwack, an area well positioned to handle the increased number of potential home buyers. Following months of low inventory, local home listings are getting back on track, according to stats compiled by the Chilliwack and District Real Estate Board. CADREB President Kim Parley noted in a media statement, Chilliwack and its surrounding riding areas are continuing to maintain stable prices despite minor fluctuations in the BC economy and global issues such as the COVID-19 virus and the ensuing stock market turmoil. And when we return, stories other than coronavirus.
Nasi goreng is an Indonesian fried rice dish. It's an original recipe that has been handed down from Doutzen that we at Hofstede's have been using for 20 years. It is mildly spicy with hints of curry. Come in and enjoy it on Thursdays in our cafe as well as in our takeout section every day. Please come and enjoy.
Chilliwack RCMP continued their investigation of a fatal car accident that happened around 3 a.m. this past Saturday morning near Cultus Lake. The single vehicle accident rollover was on Vetter Mountain Road, where it turns into Yarrow Central Road. A woman in her 20s was killed and 3 others seriously hurt. A vodka and beer bottle were found nearby, but Mounties are very tight-lipped to say if this was an alcohol-related crash. It also took out a hydro pole. In February, 38-year-old Sanjay Amrutkar of Chilliwack was arrested on sex offense charges alleged to have occurred while working as a physiotherapist. At the time, Amrutkar was charged with 2 counts of sex assault and released from custody. As a result of new allegations, 4 additional charges of sexual assault have been laid against him. He was arrested on March the 4th and has since been released from custody pending another court date later this month. Over the past week, 2 Sardis Secondary students were sent to hospital with vaping-related illnesses, prompting the principal, Dan Heisley, to warn parents to talk to their kids. The email was leaked to other media, much to the concern of the Chilliwack School Board. In a message sent to chillTV, interim Superintendent Rohan Arul Pragazam said that the memo was for parents and students only, and that privacy laws prohibit him from further comment on the matter. There are many campers who are not happy campers. Golden Ears Provincial Park will be 100% reservable during peak season. That's from May to September. The idea was actually floated around last year and met with howls of protest online from weekend warriors who wanted the first-come, first-served system retained for at least a portion of the campsites. Many campers have said on social media that Golden Ears will not be in their holiday plans this year. It's now available for collectors and friends of Kent 125 alike, the District of Kent's 2020 calendar. The souvenir calendar for the district's 125th anniversary is now available for sale at the Agassiz Rec Center, which is also known as the Community Recreation and Cultural Center on Pioneer Avenue. It's $12.50 plus tax. There are photos for each month of this fabulous collection edition, and it shows the then and now. The calendar is an Andrea Chapman creation and is a great keepsake. The BC Used Oil Management Association is a non-for-profit group dedicated to the collection and recycling of lubricating oil, oil filters, oil containers, antifreeze, and antifreeze containers in BC. They've launched a new recognition program for registered return collection facilities as a way of honoring them on an annual basis and top collectors of used oil and antifreeze materials. 30 RCFs across the province received these top collector awards for 2019. That includes the Chilliwack Bottle Depot in Sardis. They collect everything from pop cans to used oil, as well as used and broken down electronics. Chilliwack's Citizens for Change is sponsoring a fundraiser concert for all ages on Saturday, March the 14th. Luke Wallace in concert at the Wellington on Wellington. It's an evening of music and inspiration. Wallace is a talented folk artist that writes politically charged music. Chilliwack Citizens for Change co-sponsored the recent push for rainbow crosswalks in Chilliwack, as well as last week's homeless count. Of the 4 titles of the BC High School Boys Basketball Finals in Langley, 2 Chilliwack teams claimed top prize. The GW Graham Grizzlies capped off an incredible 4-day run, which saw them knock off the number 2 seed Vernon Panthers in Friday's semifinal round, and then captured the school's first ever AAA provincial basketball title with a 79-67 win over the number 1 ranked Dutchess Park Condors. Now with the 1A final, the Unity Christian Flames were locked in a tight back-and-forth battle with High Road Academy in the All-Chilliwack Championship final, and the result, a 65-61 win for Unity Christian in the school's first provincial banner. For High Road Academy, it was the second straight season they found the podium. They won bronze in 2019 and now a silver. And the season is over for the Chilliwack Chiefs. Hudson Shandor scored a pair of goals, Thomas Scarfoni stopping 38 of 40 shots, and the Surrey Eagles beating the Chilliwack Chiefs 3-2 in Game 7 of the first round series. They advanced to the second round against Coquitlam. Now, while the Chiefs had a commanding 2-0 series lead, the Eagles didn't back down, and, well, maybe next year, Chiefs. When Sumit Sharma isn't working his day job with BC Corrections, by the way, he earned his degree in criminology from Kwantlen University, or he's talking to youth to get into athletics instead of gangs, he's lifting heavy metal. In October of 2019, Sharma was a gold medal winner for Team Canada at the North American Powerlifting Championships in Panama City. This past weekend, he won gold in his class at the Canadian Nationals in Winnipeg. Now, he's planning to go to the Czech Republic in May to represent Canada at the World Powerlifting Championships. Chilliwack Giants extending their early bird tackle registration to the end of the month, March 31st. If you want more information, go to chilliwackgiants.com. And the 2020 spring camp starts April 18th. And now Barris Karden and his interview with Dr. Cindy Jardine of the University of Fraser Valley.
Welcome to the chillTV interview. Dr. Cindy Jardine from the University of the Fraser Valley. We're here to talk about COVID-19, and today, March 9th, world markets are in turmoil. Exploding cases all over the world, Italy in particular, and 16 million under quarantine, and unfortunately today announced a first casualty in BC and in Canada for the coronavirus out of Lynn Valley. So very sad news there. Maybe a little bit of positive news. Doctor received funding, university received funding from the federal government last week of how much was that?
$274,000 roughly.
And research into what specifically?
Well, my research is in quite a specific area, but of course the rationale behind the whole call from the federal government was that they wanted to get a rapid response across all areas of possible COVID-19 impact. So there are some very much in the biomedical, clinical area. My research is more in the social sciences area. I like to do the kind of health research that involves talking to people and finding out what they know, believe, need to make good decisions about health risks in their lives. So my particular research is going to look at some of our newcomers to Canada who frequently travel back to their countries of origin to visit friends and family.
So like immigrants to Canada
Yeah.
that then travel back and visit relatives?
Exactly. And we're doing this research entirely in the Fraser Valley as sort of being a representative microcosm of Canada, because we have such a wonderfully diverse population in the Fraser Valley, and many people come here to settle from other parts of the world. But travelers who are going back to what they still think of as home in many respects are different kinds of travelers than those who just go on holiday. So they travel back more frequently. When they go back, they live as a local. They live in people's houses. They live with friends and relatives. They tend to think of their homes as safe places. Mm-hmm. So they don't always maybe think the same way about the potential for contracting an infectious disease when they travel as do other people.
So how many people do you envision will be interviewed in this study?
We're going to try interviewing about 100 to 120 people, depending on what's happening. We're going to focus on two particular immigrant groups, the Punjabi population and the Chinese population.
Okay, any reason why?
Mostly because they just represent the largest proportion of immigrants that we have in this particular area of the world. And they are also, you know, face it, two countries that are much more in the news these days because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So.
Well, that's for sure. And I would think that there might be some stigma attached, like particularly now because the COVID-19 started in Wuhan, China. Mm-hmm. Any concern about your study focusing?
Absolutely. I mean, we very much don't want people to think that we're focusing on this group because they have done something wrong, because they're bad, because they are a risky population. That's mm-hmm. not it at all. We're simply focusing them as a different type of traveler. And because they travel more frequently, you know, actually have maybe a higher risk of getting infectious diseases than other people do, and because they live under different circumstances when they get there. It is in no way meant to stigmatize these populations. We don't think they're responsible for anything that's happened. But we also think that they are a group that needs, you know, specific information and specific care to make sure that they can travel safely and that they can protect their families while they're traveling.
Is there anything, without having done the study yet, but is there anything that that you feel that you'll get out of this specifically in terms of your report at the end? Mm-hmm. What sort of information are you looking for?
Well, we're going to be talking to both travelers. We're going to be talking to family physicians about their experiences in providing travelers with pre-travel advice. And we're going to be talking to our students at UFV about their experiences in traveling back to either their countries of origin or the countries of origin of their parents. One of the things, for example, we might find is that people find it hard to get pre-travel advice. Whether it's they just don't think about it, or they don't know where to go, or physicians aren't sure what to tell them, or there might be problems in travel insurance or, you know, provincial insurance not covering those kinds of visits. Whatever the problem is, if we find that that's consistently coming across as a barrier to getting the advice they need to travel safely, then that's something that we can immediately give back to the provincial government and to Fraser Health Authority as something we've learned from this study that might be an easy fix for them to make sure these people get the information and the resources that they need, whether it be an upcoming immunization or anything else to travel safely.
How long is your research period going to last, do you figure?
It's a 2-year project. We are hoping, because we have such marvelous support within UFV and resources here to mobilize quickly, that we are going to be able to collect all of our data in the next 4 to 8 months. Which
so that's
may
pretty quick.
Sound like a long time, but in the research world, that's very fast.
Well, you're doing 120 or so interviews, is that
yeah,
right?
We're going to have focus groups with them, so hopefully we'll have a few people at a time. But nonetheless, we're going to let 120 people tell us what they think. So, and we're going to follow up with interviews with the students and physicians as well. So
now, I would be remiss in not observing that while the study is for COVID-19 and other infectious diseases, it seems like by the time you're actually completed your research and reported on it, we may actually be past this COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, none of us have a crystal ball, of course, to say what's going to happen with COVID-19 and in both the near and the more distant futures. We think that the current outbreak of COVID-19, though, is going to make people a lot more aware of the need for this information, hopefully make it a little easier for us to recruit people who will be eager to participate in our study. And regardless whether it helps immediately in this outbreak or not, it is valuable information to have for the next outbreak.
Well, and I was going to say, it would have been valuable to have for this. So I wish you well in your research, and I look forward to hearing. Maybe we don't have to wait entirely 2 years. Maybe you can come back and give us an update on how things are going.
Maybe in 4 to 6 months.
Maybe in 4 to 6 months. I'd love to hear back from you.
Okay.
All right. So we won't do the handshake. We'll do the elbow bump. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. To stay PC. And so thanks so much for joining us on the show, and thank you for watching.
chillTV weather, the Ides of March is Sunday, and the weather will be almost perfect for the weekend, mainly sunny and a high of 12. Thanks for joining us this week, and a big special thanks to Dr. Cindy Jardine for coming into the studio and her interview with Barris Karden. I know she's got a busy schedule. If you would like to share the spotlight, even if you've never been on camera before, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca with your CV, and if you have it, links to your video. And if there's something in Chilliwack and the Fraser Valley you feel we should be reporting on, again, send us an email to the same address, news@chilltv.ca. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.